My discovery of Martinú's music goes back to the times when I was music director in Innsbruck Opera House, and I decided to put a field mass on the program, which was completely unknown to the orchestra and definitely unknown to the audience, since Martinů doesn't really belong to the repertoire played in Austria. I was amazed by the music, and my first experience with the field mass moved me towards exploring Martinú's music a little bit more. I have heard a lot of chamber music before. This was the field where I was acquainted with his music, but then I discovered symphonies, and I fell in love with the language he's using. And as soon as I came to Brno, I wanted to perform Martinů as soon as possible, and we had a fourth symphony on the tour, which we later did in Brno, and then I did it in Prague with the radio orchestra. So I'm planning also to do the sixth symphony and then slowly work my way through his opus. Janáček is, of course, for somebody working as a chief of Brno Philharmonic, is a must. Janáček is also one of the absolute geniuses of classical music, somebody who is completely not compromising anything. That's somebody who has his way and makes his way musically so clear, without consideration, he was very stubborn, as he was stubborn in personal life, and hardworking and ambitious. This, I find, is reflected also in his music. My first experience conducting Janáček was actually a very hard one, because I had to do a sinfonietta with Brno Philharmonic, and this was one of the incredible experiences of my life, where I felt that here I have an orchestra which plays this as a matter of fact, so natural, and they know it so well, and I was doing it for the first time. And I was happy how it went. I was able to work with the orchestra to steer the things maybe the way I wanted to do it, as far as tempos go and different things. And of course, Janáček for conductor is extremely challenging. There we have a musical structure which is not somehow very traditional. I'm not talking about the dances, but I'm talking about all of his other work, of symphonic works, of operas. You have an extremely original way of thinking, extremely original rhythmical structures, harmonic constellations. His orchestration, everything seems to be very, as if he wanted to create something completely new and something completely out of trend. He was very original, simply, one can say this. And so I started discovering and listening, and I'm pleased to see that Janáček plays ever bigger role in worldwide, especially in operatic repertoire. He is one of the most frequently performed composers of opera in the 20th century. So interpreting music of Janáček and Martinů is very difficult, and requires not only an insight into the score, the way it's composed, the way it works formally, technically, rhythmically, melodically, but it takes also, I think, a deep knowledge of these two composers and their way of thinking, their literary background, and their aesthetical views. So what I find always interesting about Martinů was somebody somewhere between folk elements, which he uses a lot, and then certain French influences. And his music, if you look carefully in the score, you find very many mezzo fortes, poco fortes. He is not an extreme expressionist. He is not somebody who is asking from orchestra an extreme expression, but at the same time, I'm very careful not to do Martinů too softly, not to play him with too much care, so that everything goes between piano and mezzo forte. I always try really to find where is drama in Martinů, and there is a lot of drama in his music, a lot of suspense, a lot of breaks and fermatas where nothing takes place. And these fermatas are extremely potent. This is incredible tension. And therefore, his poco fortes can also be played in a dramatical way, which, especially in one oratorium, shows and supports a plot and what is at the moment going on. As far as Janáček interpretation is concerned, one has to, as I said, not only be able to grasp the musical elements of the work, but also to know Janáček the way he was, to know that there is a temperament behind which was extreme. There is a person who went through and achieved what he wanted, and this kind of attitude has to be applied also to his music making. This kind of temperament and energy has to be felt, has to be recognized. Where does he want to be lyrical and soft, and where does he really need a lot of sweep and a lot of energy?